What's up? It's your boy Domuto. We're back in another video. Today we're watching Dragon Ball Kakumei, Berserker Broly vs. Kale. Broly's uncontrollable rage unleashed on planet Shadala. Ooh, shit. Alright. We gotta get into this, don't we? Alright. This sound like Broly vs. Kale. They about to go at it. Short video.
As our story now continues back on planet Vampa with
I do remember him
Broly
smashing the head.
to go on an absolute rampage and attacking planet Sadala's Saiyans, to which with the other Saiyans now having to observe and seeing their comrades be dropped one by one, it didn't appear as though anyone on planet Sadala was currently strong enough in even remotely being able to hold Broly back, to which even then, despite having to try, that was when one of the Saiyans went on to shout, "Hey you fat blob, is that all you've got? What are you trying to prove by attacking only inexperienced soldiers? You're not strong enough to attack more powerful warriors? Admiral, what are you doing?" One of the Saiyans responds. "Shut up, soldier, I know what I'm doing," the Admiral responds. "Now tell me, is that all that Shilai was worth to you?" To which this only had now proven to be a huge mistake in having to remind Broly of what happened to Shilai, because upon Broly now being shown having to once again power up in losing his absolute mind, he not only from that point was shown having to tear into planet Sadala's Saiyans, but it was right before Broly could do any more damage in wiping out the entire armada, where from out of nowhere the only individual that was seemingly strong enough in having to break through to Broly was Kale, as surprisingly enough with Kale being shown having to jump in, that was when Kale went on to shout, "Stop! Kale? Broly, stop! It's me, Kale!" To which as Kale was now face to face with Broly, that was when Kale went on to then tell him, "Listen, please, Broly, give me your hand," she says, to where even despite having to try her best in breaking through to Broly, it was only upon Kale now being shown having to touch him, where from out of nowhere we then see how Broly was beginning to spaz out and now prompting a direct response by attacking her, to where even Kale herself was left with no other choice than to retaliate, because given the threat level that Broly at this point was, there was no other person on this planet that could deal with him outside of her, to where even despite having to shoot an energy blast directly at him, Broly as a response then managed to grab onto the blast and redirecting it right back at Kale, as Kale went on to say to herself, "What? He's returning my move? Hey, will Kale succeed in doing anything against him?" one of the Saiyans asked. "He's become an unstoppable beast, the exact representation of what our king hates about Super Saiyans. But he's our ally," the Admiral responds, "and Kale knows this more than anyone else, so let's trust her." "Yes, Chaos," the Venerable Heir chimes in. "This is exactly what I asked Dula to do. The greatest strategist knows how to turn any situation to their utmost advantage. It's all a matter of foresight," as Vegeta went on to respond, "So you like being a smartass like that, huh?" To where from out of nowhere, as soon as Vegeta was now shown striking Amaron, that was when Vegeta had gone as far as to now continue, "You don't think I've forgotten that you sent one of your demon henchmen to track down Bulma?
I remember
won't forgive you, you bastard. Yet everything seems to be going my way from the moment I set foot onto this planet," Amaron responds. "I won't play your game forever, believe me," Vegeta responds, with Amaron telling him, "Oh, I can't wait to see your full potential, Vegeta." To which back with Kale, as soon as Kale was now slowly but surely now shown having to also use her Berserker power, it was only just then momentarily where Kale went on to observe something coming from Broly, with Kale responding, "Wait, did he just get distracted? Oh no, he's going to attack someone else." To which that was exactly what Broly was going to do, until it was from out of nowhere where Kale had now gone as far as to use more of her own Berserker powers in stopping him, as just before he went as far as to do so, as we now get to see how a desperate Kale was trying to do everything to stop him, it was just upon her barely now shown having to avoid one of his own mouth blasts, where from within that moment, as soon as she was able to find her opening, that was when Kale went on to touch Broly's face and telling him, "Please calm down, I beg you, please, please. Good And Kale continues, as we only then get to see within Broly's own consciousness, where lo and behold, Kale was finally able to now get through to him, as Kale went on to then continue, "It's me, Kale, please, Broly, just hear the sound of my voice, brother. We've done it before, and so I know you can do it." As the other Saiyans went on to chime in, "Well, she's crazy. Look, she came
like
back
Black
to
Widow
her
in the
normal
Hulk,
state."
nigga.
No, the Admiral shouts, "Let her do it." To which, interestingly enough, as we only observe how both of their consciousness were now beginning to become in sync, in which only allowed for Kale to actually be shown getting through to the real Broly, the innocent Broly that was lying deep within, as this had only now appeared to be the only other way that Kale was able to get through to Broly. It was just upon her now being shown having to be inside of Broly's consciousness where Kale went on to utter, "Shilai, please, Broly, I can hear your inner self. Here, Broly, can you hear me?" As indeed she now was able to see the real Broly from within, because with the real Broly now being shown slowly shining through as he was shown sitting with his head down, the only other thing that seemed to have been on Broly's mind was in fact what had happened to Shilai, as Kale went on to then continue, "I know you're struggling not to lose control, Broly. I know this because the energy bonds I hold you with are no match for your strength, yet your body is pinned to the ground, which is proof that you are trying to pull yourself together. So take back control while you still can." With Broly shockingly responding, "No, but you must do it," Kale says. "Not until he pays." With Kale responding, "He'll pay, that damn demon will pay, but I can't let you go back. You won't just attack him, you'll do collateral damage to everyone, and we can't afford to lose anyone more." "If you don't agree," Broly responds, "I'll do it anyway." "No," Kale shockingly shouts, to where even inside of Broly's own consciousness, as he went as far as to lose his mind even there, Kale was now left with no
Broly
other
ain't
choice
playing.
but to yet transform once more, and from that point being shown doing what she possibly could just to simply survive while within, to which even with Kale now beginning to acknowledge that she has no other choice, that was when Kale went on to respond, "No, I absolutely have to stop him." But then, it was right before she was able to actually formulate an energy blast within her hand, where from out of nowhere, Berserker Broly was now shown grabbing onto both arms, as Kale went on to shout, "Please come to your senses. I know you could do." But then, the moment Broly was yet again now shown having to punch Kale right in the face, not only was this an end result of Kale being shown getting punched out of her Super Saiyan form, but interestingly enough, as soon as Broly was now shown having to formulate pupils, in now coming to his senses and realizing as to what he had just done, it now had appeared as though, weirdly enough, as soon as he was shown doing this, where he was beginning to regain consciousness and controlling himself, in which with Kale now being the difference maker in standing in the way of Broly's chaos, it was only right then and there during that moment where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Kakumei manga chapter number 18 special then comes to a close. Now, one of the things that I really enjoyed about this manga chapter was, of course, seeing Kale actually try in confronting Broly, to where not only was she shown momentarily having to engage with him, but to see how she seems to be the only other person that understands what Broly is going through, of course, given the fact that she was once in that position, really goes as far as to create an interesting dynamic between the two. But the only thing that I did not like about this chapter was knowing the fact that, number one, it came to a close relatively too soon, and number two, I truly do think that Caulifla, of all people, should also be here to kind of aid Kale just in case things go left, in a sense where it would really be awesome to see someone like Kefla be—
Oh, well, Kefla against this Broly would be fire. That would be a beautiful fight. That would be a fire fight for real. But shout out to Dragon Ball Kakumei. Shout out to UnrealEntGaming. But yeah, this is a fight. It was a cool chapter. She and Kale, you know, how she and Kale and Broly interconnect with each other. Like, that something we haven't never seen, which we should see. That's something that should be in Super. That'd be fire. But now that Broly can control his power in Super, you know, whatever. Anyway, if you like my reaction, so like, comment, subscribe. Check out the last chapter right here. Check out another story right here. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.